Okay, and I think we're live. I need to get fraps up. Hold on a second here. And this is only in case I end up in a raid and you can't see my frame rate.
Babe,
Yes,
you missed it. The gun was floating.
Oh. Thanks for telling Twitch, or YouTube. I'm pretty sure they want to hear that.
Yeah. It's a very important fact.
I guess it is. So why is my frame rate locked? Oh, I know why. I'm an idiot. I'll fix it, guys. Hold on a second. Full screen window. I would have done a lot more today, but I was not feeling well today at all, unfortunately. Display setting. Display number 2. Advanced. Just properties. Monitors. 144 hertz. Apply. Keep go. Now, okay, that's enabled, that's not good. And I have 2 monitors, so I can see you guys, I can see everything in the chat, which is pretty cool. Well, let me go ahead and queue up for something here. Say Night Spire's pretty, but I got this from Micro Center. I think you guys will like it. Let me make sure it's on. Frame rate. Okay. Video capture. So. I now put my hand in the way here. Can live stream directly from my camcorder, which is really cool. To a degree. Let's go back here. Get out of here. So, fortunately, I need to get rid of some of this stuff, but I'll learn it. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Yes, I'm going to see everything I see. I'll have to learn how to get rid of everything, but yeah, so I can actually live stream stuff to you guys, which is really neat. Okay, so let's do a raid that I've never been in before. Why are we at 60 FPS again? Display settings. There. I'm probably not just pushing enough frames, but this is pretty cool. Remove that. Display capture. Display 1. So, it's on the screen. Okay, let me move up here real quick. You guys will be able to see first down here. My CPU's overclocked to 3.9. Temps are good. My temps on my GPU are good, so I'm pretty much good across the board. So let's greetings everybody, all two of you guys. I can real-time monitor the chat, which is really neat. So I have my two monitors here. I gotta mess with my capture device. I'm going to show you guys my setup here, which is pretty neat. So I have well, actually it's a pretty eventful night, and then I got pretty congested and messed up this morning, but I bought an ASRock board because I want to replace my Asus board. And it turns out this ASRock board, it's just a B350 board, nothing crazy. You can't do any kind of memory overclock. I tried. I can't tell you how many fails I had because you can't tweak too much. So I went to put my Asus board back in before I shipped it out because I sold it and it won't post with the Ryzen 5 chip. There's a lot of issues with it. So unfortunately, the person I sold it to, I told him, hey, look, I'll give you a full refund. I'm not going to be able to sell this board to you. There's too many issues with it. I didn't feel comfortable selling it to him. So I have an Asus board that doesn't work. But this $50 motherboard, so let's talk about that for a minute. 3.9 gigahertz overclock, 1.35 volts. I have an H100i. My fiance has my 1700X, and she has a Gigabyte B350 board as well. We both have GTX 1080 for the win. Mine's the hybrid. Hers is the air-cooled, my previous one. So for those of you that haven't seen, though, and yes, I'm whoring this channel out, I know. I'll put this in the chat here. That was a video I did earlier, well, last night, rather. And I should have another video coming out tonight that is going to be doing overclocking benchmarks. So I got the KB Link overclocked as well. So you guys should be happy about that. Everybody wants 1080p results. I guess I can do that if you guys really want me to. Oop. And for the record, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I've never been this raid before, but I was told that's pretty intensive. So kind of annoyed with Micro Center. Well, not the Micro Center specifically, but apparently I talked to the store manager today, and they won't do anything on my board despite me getting the warranty on it. They won't let me ship it to them at my cost. I'm okay with shipping stuff to them at my cost. Look, I work in retail. I get it. I talked to their tech support. They agree with me. There's an issue with the board. It's not working with the Ryzen 5 chip. Don't know why, but I'll email the sales associate. He was a good guy, Dustin. And I'm pretty happy with the store all around, but I'll see if I can get that fixed. But I called Dustin about 2 or 3 days prior, and I gave him a big list of everything that I was going to want. The capture card, ultra-wide monitor for my fiance, basically 2.5 rigs, and he got everything together ready for me. So when I showed up at 10 o'clock when it opened, ooh, I'm getting my shit kicked in. But yeah, whenever they opened at 10 o'clock, he basically had everything already ready for him, which is pretty cool. Let me pass through that really quick. I'm lost. What's going on? Why are we doing this here? This seems really counterproductive, maybe. What are we doing? Why are we fighting a boss in the hallway? Again, it feels very, very, very counterproductive. Guess we're trying to reset the boss, maybe? I don't know. I feel like he's a boss of some sort. Feel free to ask some questions, guys. I definitely want to engage in some conversation. I'm good enough to sit here and play games for a little bit, so I'll play as long as I can. If I start to feel like crap, I'll get off. But spoiler alert for anybody that's interested, so far from my testing, the KB Lake i5 has been not as good or on par with my Ryzen chip. It won one contest, and that was For Honor, overclocked, and its highs and lows were so far off that it wasn't even that good of an experience as well. Excuse me. I get this camera back on at some point. I'm gonna play with it for a second. How do I get rid of all this stuff?
Is it in the shot?
Yes.
Where?
I'm not actually streaming to it right now. Oh. Boss fight started. I should probably pay attention. She's playing Ghost Recon right now because I got it with my 1080 hybrid. So interestingly enough, I have the Corsair 460X crystal case, and it's actually smaller, much smaller case than I anticipated, which I'm okay with. But getting a side panel along with two AIO coolers in there is definitely not something that's easy to do. And it's a little bit dark in there for my liking. I might put some LED strips in, but I like the size. It's actually pretty compact. I hate the back. There's almost no cable management in the back at all. Outside of that, it's a pretty solid case. So you can't do top-mounted RADs at all. Well, you can, but my RAM, I had clearance issues with my RAM, believe it or not. So. Meeting at work tomorrow. I'll make it, but I'm just not. Well, I should feel better. Well, it's just a meeting. I can wake up, mosey there, and head back. So I'm gonna do Ashes of the Singularity as well. Having dual monitors is nice. So, interesting story. I picked up a 1080p Dell monitor from Micro Center, $70. Happy as can be. It's VGA only. Whoops. That was quite interesting. More of a I'm kind of an idiot more than anything else. But what is this? Got two of you guys back. That was probably my biggest, yep, I had 22 stacks whenever that hit. Which was more of an entertaining streamer. I kind of feel bad for you guys having to deal with this crap. How's the frame rate on your end? Is it dropping any frames or anything like that? Let me adjust something here really quick. Looks like I'm streaming in 1080p though, or 720p rather.
Excuse me.
A little late on that one.
Sorry. To everyone on the live stream, it felt good.
don't even think they really heard it, but. Everybody keeps wanting me to stream in 1080p. I probably should at some point.
Why aren't you?
I'm in 1440p. Because that's peasant work right there.
Because you're thieving?
Yes, pretty much. Why is there bats again? I'm just gonna AoE everything. Call that a day. Hey, he died. Vampiric fetish. Why is it always the one thing I don't use? Nope, can't use any of that. Not gonna stay out from him because that's for an off spec. I think that's for my holy spec if I remember correctly. Guys are not talking of the night. Kind of sad. I could be on a mountain too. Let's get and do that. As we're kidding, this place drops frames like no tomorrow. Yeah, we'll just go right through that. Hey, 20 FPS. Here's to show you, it doesn't matter what kind of computer you have, it can still run like shit this game. So I think I'm gonna jump to Ashes and Singularity after this benchmark and see what you guys think. Wish I had a second WoW. I could probably do simultaneous, whatchamacallits, rating. Oh, I thought I was about to hit them. Screw this camera again. I should probably move on. I gotta figure that camera out at some point. Ooh, vintage. Nope, not for me. Oh, gold. Sweet. I'll take it. Here, I'll do this. Edit. There's my ugly mug. For those you haven't seen, new rig. H100i, GTX hybrid, 16 gigs of RAM, Corsair case, 2 monitors, which is pretty cool. Her rig, she has this really sexy ultra-wide curved display, which is pretty cool. Very similar rig, she has a 1700X, GTX 1080, and behind us is our 2 test stations, so for those of you that cared. Look horrible today. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna go find where these guys went off to. Here they are. How far away is the next boss? Oh, this guy. Pretty sure I died on him last time. Oh, it's an Inferno. A Searing Inferno. I will say this though, the temperature in this room is about 85, the rest of our house is 68. And there's a common misconception that water cooling makes your room colder. That's actually incorrect for those of you that don't know. Your components are still generating the same amount of heat as they always do. The difference is that water cooling dissipates it quicker. So while your components are running, say, 40, 50, 60 degrees Celsius instead of significantly more. They really, okay, I thought they pulled them. It's still taking the heat and dissipating it into the outside the case, and it's taking the same heat, it's just better at dissipating outside of your case. And that's where a lot of people have a misconception that water cooling is going to make your computer or your room cooler. It does not. It's a very hard concept to understand why it doesn't work, and it took me quite some time to understand. You kind of have to understand thermodynamics to really have a good grasp of it. But yes, water cooling will not make your room cooler. It'll just make your computer run cooler, definitely, but not your room, because it's still exhausting the hot air into your room. So why do I always get breathed every time? So for those of you who don't know, streaming on my Ryzen 5 1600. Not feeling the greatest, I do apologize, but I have a GTX 1080 hybrid, 16 gigs RAM, not overclocked memory. Cannot get this board to overclock memory at all. I do have the CPU overclock though. I have it at 3.9 gigahertz, so super quick. I'll show you guys that while I'm writing. 1.35 volts, 3.9 gigahertz. So back to rating. Every time I get hit with it. Okay, so
don't let American dogs.
Oops. Sorry, guys. I just did a video not too long ago, a couple hours ago, comparing the 7600K and the Ryzen 5. And I have a 7600K here, and even when overclocked, I didn't bench WoW, keep that in mind, But even when overclocked, the Ryzen 5 actually did better in some of the more popular AAA titles. So we're talking Ashen Singularity, For Honor, Ghost Recon, stuff like that. So I'll say this. I'm streaming WoW right now. Now, I'm running 1440p. Everything's maxed except 2 settings. And those settings would be view distance and clutter. And those are set to 8. And you guys can see I'm running between like 30 and 40 FPS, which normally I guess it's run lower. I don't know these rates that well. I honestly haven't rated a lot. But the 1600 is a phenomenal streaming CPU. I have a 1700X that my fiance uses. She definitely needs more power than I do. So that one did great, but I basically spent $220, another $860 for the board. I have a good overclock on it, 3.9 gigahertz at 1.35 volts, nothing crazy, and it's doing absolutely phenomenal. I'm having no issues. I mean, obviously I'm hitting 30, 40 FPS in WoW. That's kind of a given. Oh, hey. Not even paying attention. I survived that somehow. So, in the video that I linked, or no, that's going to be tonight's video. Basically, my conclusion's been from the performance results that I've seen, there has not been a good case made for a Kaby Lake processor. There isn't for me. It's not performing really any better than the Ryzen, and in situations where it is, it's so little that it just isn't worth less cores, less raw power, easy overclock. And the big reason why I got this particular CPU, not the Hex variant, is 65 watt TDP is easier to pull, because the 3.9 gigahertz on all cores, not just the turbo boost, on all cores, I'm getting around, let's see here, 89 watts of power. So that's not a lot of power to pull, in my opinion. Oh, there it is. So you figure 95 watt TDP on the 1600X. It's not 95 watts on a boosted 4 gigahertz on some cores, 3.7 across all cores. I'm getting 6 less watts and consistent higher voltage, or consistent lower voltage, great temps, stuff like that. So see if there's anything I can use here. Definitely use that necklace. Can't use that, can't use that. Can use that. Can't use that. Can't use that. Okay, I can't use much. Yeah, I can't. Okay, let me rephrase that. I can't, in good faith, recommend a 7600K because you get such a better overall processor for less. You know, to give you an idea, like I told you, $220 for the CPU, not including the Micro Center discount that I got for the board. The board itself was around $80. So we're talking $300 for a platform versus a cheap Z270 board is going to be like $110, $120. Processors $250. We're talking $360, $370. So, but I will say this: there's definitely a lot of early adopter issues. I have a board that won't take my Ryzen 5 chip, even with the latest BIOS, just straight up doesn't work. Nothing you can really do about that. Overclocking was really easy. I literally changed 2 things: frequency, voltage. That was it. That was it. but I can't get the memory on this ASRock B350 Pro 4 board to... Yeah, I can probably adjust that. But I can't get it to change the memory at all, whereas my Asus X370 board I could. So I usually turn these down, but I have it for my testing. Sun shafts. That didn't make much of a difference for me, surprisingly. The biggest difference maker for me is these two. That's where the difference is for me. Now, if you guys want, just for the heck of it, I will put this in window mode, and then I will put this at 1080p. So I know a lot of people have been asking for that. There we go. Doesn't make a huge difference, but I know a lot of people have been asking for that. Okay, good. I'll make sure VSync wasn't turned on. Because I'm rocking, well, I mean, I hope it was, but I'm rocking 144 hertz, so. But yeah, so going back to what I was saying earlier, the problem is the Ryzen platform still has some issues. Oh, a little bit of frame stutter there. You know, memory overclocking is non-existent on a lot of boards. Basic overclock is pretty straightforward, but there's definitely some memory issues, and the design makes it a little bit difficult for enthusiasts and stuff like that. But if you were to, I would go to say that the CPU overclocking on this board was so simple, I could recommend most people to do it, because you're changing two settings. I could probably get the voltage down to 1.3, but the temperatures were fine. I had no issues with it, so I really wasn't worried about it. But, you know, I could probably mess with it, but I've been gaming off for a couple hours. I ran Cinebench. I ran IDA64 for 15-20 minutes, just a real quick, like, you know, test, and I've had no issues. It probably went up a fair bit. I'll just turn it down just to see what it does. So I'm in like in the mid-60s. Yeah, it did go up a fair bit, and I'm also at 1080p too, so that'll probably help a fair bit. Well, so that's actually a really good question. I'm not hearing good reviews from the 1500X and 1400. I don't know why, but it seems to be lagging behind quite a bit, the 6-core variant. It could be the way the CCXs are communicating with each other. So I can't recommend a 1500X or a 1400. And by the way, AMD, why did you call it the 1400? Just call it the 1500. It would have followed naming scheme, would have made so much sense. Sorry, I had to rant about that. But I haven't tested the platform, so I would still recommend personally, just because what I've tested, still grab a 1600 on a board. You can probably get them for about $300. And then grab yourself like an RX 484 gig, an RX 484 gig, whatever is in your budget. Get yourself a 430 watt Seasonic power supply. It's a good power supply. Whatever board or whatever case you want, you know, it doesn't have to be over the top. Basic SSD, get a storage drive for later, and you're golden. You can probably get a buy for like $600-700 for like a streaming gaming build. You know, I spent $3,800 on my last trip, but that was like 2.5 builds. So, oh, somebody's behind me. Alright, she's the one we killed like 3 times, I remember correctly. Why did he lost now? I feel like that was a bad idea. What's going to be interesting is the 4-core, 4-thread CPU that's going to be in the low hundreds. how well is it going to perform against the i3 and like the G46 or 4560. So that's definitely going to be interesting. I'm going to test something real quick, see if this makes a difference while I'm in the raid. Some in the 40s. That doesn't really make a big difference, like maybe 5-10 FPS max. And the cool thing is, like I was telling you, is the overclocking. That's usually something a lot of beginners like, I don't want to do, I want to do. And to your credit, I mean, you know, it's not easy. My Intel platforms that I have, my Kaby Lake i5 build, what was not easy to overclock. I had to pull some things out of my previous repertoire with ways I've overclocked before. Whereas the Ryzen build here was basically multiplier voltage. That was it. All I had to do. So that was pretty cool. And with 65 watt TDP, that's pretty easy to dissipate. You know, I have an AIA water cooler, but I'm barely 60 degrees, and my voltage is probably 0.05 higher than it needs to be. I feel like ultra high shadow details was ridiculous. I would say probably. I'm using OBS, so I mean, I know I have shadow play available to me, but I just kind of know how OBS works. That's why I've been kind of using. Let me oh, wrong button. Fuck. Cancel.
Why did you close out? Babe.
I didn't mean to. I hit the wrong button.
Did you just accidentally end your stream?
No. Stream's actually still going.
Ah.
I'm not, but stream is.
Why?
Oops.
Wait, are you still live?
I believe I am. That was definitely a whoops, guys. Sorry about that. Went to hit Task Manager and I slipped and hit Sign Out. So I'm using about 45% of my CPU and 32% of my memory. So everybody's still actually here. Whoops. And I didn't actually die somehow. They probably just kept me alive. Because they were nice. But hey, at least I came out with full mana, so that was kind of nice. From Linus's video, interestingly enough, there is, he did a test, and AMD's streaming codec through H.264, I believe. It's either 264 or 265. Now, I know they're both standards. Did really well. It actually beat even, like, I think it was on par with Shadow Play when it comes to CPU impact. Now, oh, let me change this because this is going to annoy me. It's out of the background. There we go. That way when I tab over. Oh, you guys can't see the FPS at the bottom there. You guys can see this at the bottom right. Just make sure. I'm up to 80, you guys. Sweet. I'm glad I got that video out last night, even though I started not feeling so good last night. That's like almost 500 views already. I would love to grow my channel. One thing I'm starting to learn is, like, you know, I'm looking at like Linus and Jay's 2 Cents, and Paul and Kyle and all of them, and I'm like, man, they're so professional. They do things so great. And I was talking to a buddy of mine that actually does do a fair bit with YouTube. It's not his full-time gig, but he does. You know, he has a pretty big follower, like over 250,000 subs. And he said, you know, you start learning this stuff as time goes on about how to be more professional and how to make better content, what your audience wants, stuff like that. So I guess I just keep going, keep learning stuff. Let's see, shoulder. Do I have... So, anybody down for Ashes of the Singularity, or would you prefer another WoW raid? Or Charisma, for that matter? I gotta turn my... So much crisper. Let's see who's all on. There are some people I know. How long have I been streaming for? 41 minutes. Wow. Let me... Well, I actually really don't know how to play Ashes of the Singularity. I know it's an RTS, but I was going to just play it to you guys and see the performance of it, because the only thing is that game doesn't really bog down until you like have huge amounts of forces, like the benchmark, for example. I would play Ghost Recon Wildlands, but someone beside me is playing it right now. She has earphones on, so she doesn't hear me. Do the LFR Wing Spellblade. Okay. I'll take requests. Where's Spellblade? Which one is that? There we go, found it. Oh yeah, if you want to jump on and do yeah, it's my only high level. I'm sorry. And again, it's not even like I'm gonna talk to your player in this expansion like I used to be. I used to do hard mode and everything like that. I just haven't played a lot since Dragons or whatchamacallit, Cataclysm. Oh, who Scarlet this is. My buddy Zach. Ugh. Well, GTX 1060 and R5 1500, 1500X. I would say yeah, it would be. Let me look some up really quick here. That's a 1500X. Got a new egg real quick. here's my take on this. For $30 more, you can go from a quad-core hyper-threading to a 6-core hyper-threading. So that $30 I think is really, really well spent. Okay, so I would try to free up. If you want to send me like a build, like what you're thinking, I'll definitely go through and make some recommendations. I'm more than happy to do so. I'm going to send you, and I'm going to send this to everybody here. Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Now, as I get bigger, I'm no longer going to regret this, but that's my email. So if you guys ever want to get a hold of me, or you can send a message through facebook.com/PCBudgetSolutions. I'm more than happy, if I have time, answer any build questions you guys have. I've been doing this for a long time. I've built almost 500 computers, so trust me, I still make mistakes. I don't know everything, but I love learning. But yeah, I would say 1600 with the GTX 1060 is a good choice. Now, I would go to say that an RX 480 seems to be edging out the 1060, but here's what I'll say with that. There's really not a huge difference where, you know, would you get like 5% more performance with one card in certain games over the other? Yes, that's definitely the case. But if you're an NVIDIA fan, if you like Shadow Play, if you like what it brings, go with it. I do have an RX 480 I'm going to be testing pretty soon. That's in another build I got to work on. But that would definitely not be a bad pairing. Excuse me. So, yeah, you could probably, you figure, here, I'll do a really quick PC part picker for you. Now, this will not include Windows. There's a couple ways you can get Windows. I go through KingWin. Yes, it's great marketplace, but honestly, most people, can you take that outside? Thanks. But I haven't really had too many issues with it. Let me look at this board really quick here. That's a micro ATX board. I'm going to try to go full ATX for you. Boy, am I glad I have a full... Oh, I'll just use the board that I have because I know it works. Let's go with 16 gigs of memory. We can always go down to 8 if needed, but I'm going to start with 16. Speed's not really going to be super relevant because... Well, it can't hit high speeds right now anyhow, at least not on the board I'm about to give you. Yes, that's another thing. The 500 series will drop in a few weeks. That will definitely change up a couple things. So I don't know what your budget is, but I'm going to put together something for you really quick here. Love EVGA products. It's a small one too. Let me see if Zolomon's case is still on sale, because I really love building in it. It's a Z3. Oh, it is. Nice. I'm going to again put this on the list here for you. Now, don't be worried about this power supply. It'll work fine. It's good quality. I actually powered a GTX 1080 overclock on it, so... actually, let's go with this one because it's the exact same price. And then storage. Let's go with the cheapest 240 gig SSD we can find. That's not junk. There we go. So, ooh, that came a little higher than I thought. That's fine. So, I'm going to send you this now. So this is with your 1060. I think we really won't save much going to an RX 480, if anything at all. But I'm going to swap it out for an RX 480 8 gig. That'll work. Well, I don't like mail rebates. At least now I'm trying to figure out cost. I don't. Yeah, that one's white. We want something that's not white. That's the reference design. Let's go 8 gig. Another reference design. Another reference design. Jesus. There we go. Yeah, that actually went up a couple bucks, believe it or not. Yes, it is. I was looking at the 430 watt because I actually got that on sale a couple times, but 500 is good enough for a mid-range system. I got news for you. I'm running on a 550, and I have the GTX 1080 hybrid. I'm an overclocked Ryzen 7 or Ryzen 5 1600. I have 4 SP 120s in my case, 16 gigs of RAM. So
It's like a 20-degree difference.
yeah. So yeah, it's if 530 is more, to be honest. 430, like a good Seasonic 430 watt, can power most systems out there without any issue. 550 is good for just about any single GPU setup. There are exceptions, obviously, but yeah, that's depending on what your flavor is, that'll work perfect. That's the board that I have. That's the CPU I have. The memory you might want to look into a little bit more, and just because. Waiting for the queue, I don't have time to right now, but if you shoot me a message, I'll look up on the memory compatibility list to get the best compatible memory I can find for you. But yeah, this would be perfect. This would be a great gamer. It would be great for streaming. You could use either AMD or NVIDIA streaming service rather than open broadcast. It'll be, and since you're adopting an early platform, what's nice is if you want to go with Zen 2 or whatever the next architecture is going to be and get, say, the 8 or 10 core that comes out down the road, it'll be a simple BIOS update. AMD is really big on not like killing series every 2 generations like Intel is. So that's definitely really cool. So you can turn this mid-range system into a high-end system. And I wouldn't even call it mid-range. I would really call this upper mid-range, low high end, because you really not going to get a lot more performance stepping up to like a 1080 or 1080 Ti. In some scenarios, it really depends on the games you play. Like in WoW, you wouldn't, so. A memory. Okay, cool. You're looking that up. That's fine. I could probably pull it up too. I have G-Skill Try and Z's, and anything over... I haven't tried 1.45 volts on the memory. 2400 won't boot. But overclock was easy and fine. Yeah, I wish I would have went for regular 1700 for her build, because the 65 watt TDP, like, people underestimate that. Like, they want to keep a certain voltage to heat power ratio. And a 1700 does not fall into the regular specifications of a 1700X. So what they mean by that is if they were to put that 1700 chip up to 95 watts at certain settings, the same settings they run across the board, it would not pass spec. That happens every now and then. I don't know why. But what's interesting is manually tweaking stuff. Like, there's some times where you lock the voltage to a lower level to run lower temperature and actually even a little bit of overclock, and you're running better than their standard spec. So what they mean is that when they ran it at 1.4 volts or 1.35 volts at 3.8 gigahertz turbo with 3.4 base, it didn't meet their specifications. But heat or whatever have you, but you can take that chip and manually adjust things and actually make it probably faster and cooler, like in this situation. Yeah, for a while, I would still think that the 7600K would probably do a tad better. From my flight path comparison, it's not the case, so I don't know for sure. But for WoW and streaming, unless you're using like Shadowplay, even so, I would still think with the lack of maturity Ryzen has being so close to the KB Lake chips and or beating them in my testing, I would go with the more power, especially down the road. That's what I would say. Yeah, if anybody wants to jump on and raise me, you're more than welcome to. For anybody that is roughly in the Pittsburgh area where I'm from, I have 2 computers for sale pretty soon. Unfortunately, though, you can probably build a little bit better. Well, you can always build better for cheaper because obviously I have to make a couple dollars on it, like $100. But I'll have the Kaby Lake system with the GTX 1070 for sale, and then a Devil's Canyon with an RX 480 for sale as well. So, speaking of which, I got to put the hard drive in one of those and wipe out the other one sometime. Man, when's this cube gonna pop? Good luck with the memory compatibility while he's doing that too. Memory. They have nothing over 1400 on here. I'm gonna let him finish up with that. Yeah, I live 26 miles east of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so I'm southwestern Pennsylvania. Yes, I'm having fun. Yeah, I'm hoping I have the Devil's Canyon i5. I think I have 8 gigs RAM, and I probably need to get more. I'll probably just sell it at a discount for like $800 with an RX 480 SSD, HDD. How's the Hybrid 212? Interesting. I might have to buy that memory. Because I think the Vengeance LPX for the most part. Yeah, I'm not against that. I can mess with timings. The problem is that the board itself really doesn't have much in timings and voltage, and that's it. Black. I should really buy this kit. I just really don't need to be spending that kind of money on stuff like this right now. So I have white and black memory though. Correct me if I'm wrong, that is California, correct? Sounds like we've either that or Texas. Yeah, the fastest I got this set of RAM was 2933 on my old board, but old board doesn't like Ryzen 5. Speaking of which, let me see if there's an update for it. Unfortunately, I don't have a CPU to put in it. Well, I do. But she'll kill me if I take her computer apart again, because it didn't. At one point, none of the 3 computers are working. All stupid issues. One of them was, so I had a buddy of mine helping me. He didn't plug the VGA cable. Well, not VGA, but the modular cable into the power supply. Oh, Brazil. Oh, my bad. I'm horrible at geography. Yeah, he didn't plug it all the way into the power supply, so if the fans would turn all the way up, screen would go black. I thought it was a memory seeing issue or something, and then I realized, well, let me check the power supply. I saw it wasn't in all the way back. Well, that would answer it. So I actually want the ASRock X370 Tahachi as well, but it's so hard to get in the United States right now. Micro Center's been out of them since like day one, but that is the board I really want. But right now, I mean, memory overclocking isn't going to make a huge difference in wiring. I don't think it might, but if I should, I don't know what currency you guys use down in Brazil, but Micro Center made a lot of money off me the other day with everything I bought. Now I'll be selling a good portion of it on the market, but It's one of those things where if it works right now, I'm not really even in a game, or I should probably just leave it alone. I could probably overclock the memory on her board though, but she kind of doesn't want me to. She has a Gigabyte B350 Gaming 3 board or something like that, if I remember correctly. Do you guys want 1080p or 1440p? Because I will adjust if you guys want me to. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing is, like, you know, I hope I can keep, I think I'll keep my channel the same name, but, you know, I've always been about the budget, how to budget correctly. The problem is I never, 2 minimum wages for board, I never budget my setup correctly. So, like, you know, I spent $100 on SP120s. You know, I got the GP for a great price, $530 US for the hybrid, which is unbelievable. It's the cheapest out there. You know, I got a really cheap board. I got a Corsair H100i for dirt cheap. You know, I got that third party. The case I got for $110, which is going great. Speaking of the case, it's actually smaller than a lot of other cases out there, interestingly enough, and it's, you know, it fits well. I hate, there's a couple things I don't like about it because it is relatively small. Because it's relatively small, the 2 radiator hoses don't really fit all that well in it. I have to kind of move them around for that to work, but overall, though, it does get the job done. Cable management in the back's non-existent, but overall, though, I do like the case. It's in front of it's tempered glass, and I actually have to have the radiator mount in the front. Oh, nice. Oh, wow, you went deep. You went hard there. 1800X. I didn't even consider doing that. Raven 5. Who makes that? You got 1080 Ti. I was going to upgrade to a 1080 Ti 3 VGA, but I thought to myself, I was like, you know, that's going to cost me an extra $100 for the step up, and then I'm going to need to buy another one. It's going to be another $200. Man, is this running like crap right now. Okay, let's do this. Actually didn't make much of a difference. I really expect that to make much of a difference. It did not. And I will say this. This is, I never overclocked my 1700X, but it was one of the easiest. It's the easiest overclock I've ever done. It was literally voltage multiplier. Oh, Silverstone. Try. I think I've heard that before. So out of curiosity, for those of you that have done this before, I'm actually going between 20 and 30 FPS. Now, a friend of mine has a 6700 I built for her, and she tells me she hits single digits while rating too. She has a GTX 1060, she rates 1080p. So from your guys, she plays an Archimon too, interestingly enough, what she did. From your guys' experience, is this kind of what to expect, or am I a bit lower than where I should be? Where is my phone? Where is my phone at?
Probably downstairs. Right there.
Where?
Right there.
Can you grab it for me? Please and thank you. It's amazing I've been AFK like half this fight.
Huh?
I said I've been AFK like half this fight. Ugh. So I'm getting anywhere from 50 to 100% more FPS in some scenarios. So that's definitely a plus. I feel like I should probably move out of that. It's so hot in here. So much heat dissipating this room. She has NZXT Kraken X60 on hers. It's actually from a previous build, but it's a better radiator than the H100i. Well, heck, I'm getting 30 FPS right now. Don't hate. Wow, there's a lot going on. I guess that's why you had me do it, huh? It's not a slideshow, so I guess I guess this is a win, maybe? Oh god. Oh god. This is 25 here. Kind of out of mana. Yeah, I don't know. Again, you know, I'm doing this to showcase performance. Not that I know what the heck I'm doing. As you can see, I'm out of mana, and it's probably because I didn't manage my mana worth a damn. We have one tank? Really? Ooh, that's rough. I thought last time I played on something like that, it was a Core 2 Duo, 9800 GT, 4 gigs of RAM, E8400. Yeah, I mean, I upgraded. I mean, I had a 4790K. I upgraded because I wanted to start doing YouTube and I wanted to showcase some new products, so. Ooh, I got something. Sweet. Let me see what else. Nope, can't use that. Can't use that. Can't use that. That was mine.
The battle to liberate Sormar is joined. No more must our resistance hide in the shadows.
The gates are breached. Sorry we couldn't join you soon, but we had a bit of a mess to clean up out front. Our seas are fortifying our position. On this run, your guidance has been invaluable to our champions so far. We'll rely upon your wisdom.
the boss we just killed called again?
The people of Sormar owe these heroes a debt we can never repay. I will stand with them until the end.
I'll keep an eye on your progress. Good luck.
Oops. Looking up her name here. We'll put this in the title to try to attract more people, if possible. Ouch. Yeah. People underestimate the kind of power this game takes. They really do. You know, you need now a 400 series DDR5 card to boot the game. You need at least a decent Core 2 Duo with 4 gigs RAM. That's just to turn it on. We're not talking about doing 25-man raids or anything like that. Probably stop standing and stuff, I'm thinking. I don't exactly raid, I just do this for you guys. I guess the phrase should be he tries to raid. Nah, I'm just kidding. Well, I pulled something. Whoops. I'm an idiot. What's my level now? 845. I'm getting up there. Looking for group care was pretty straightforward. Oh, gold. How do you do Mythic at 10 FPS? I just don't see how it's possible. You know, then the saying goes, like, if he was that good on that kind of computer, how good would he be on a good computer? It's warm in here. It's legit like 85 degrees in this room, and then it's 60 at the rest of the house. No, I'm not getting involved in that shit. Well, it wasn't me that did it, so. That was cool, though. I like doing, helping people out, doing charity work, stuff like that. People that, not like poor people necessarily. I mean, I love helping anybody I can, but I love being able to deliver, you know, good products and helping people out. There's there was a situation where a friend of mine, she fell in hard times and she wanted a computer for kids to play games on. I didn't deliver the highest end computer, some AMD quad core, 2 gig DDR5 card. I mean, 8 gigs RAM. It was decent. I sent it to her, but my biggest thing that I absolutely love is where is he at? Okay. Is, you know, I sell a lot to family with, like, kids, and they don't have the means of, you know, building a computer for their kids, or they don't know where to turn. And a lot of people put a lot of trust in the work that I do, and I like when the kid sits down and plays a Steam game or whatever game he wants to play, he can play it. You know, mom and dad's laptop was just not cutting it, and I really love seeing that. And I think boosting this platform, putting this stuff on, you know, YouTube, I've been getting a lot more people buying some of the products I sell after I'm done with them. And it's definitely, I'm hoping it'll allow me to continue to run more and more content real quick. That's kind of the hope. Nice, yeah, 6300 GTX 670. I don't get the job done. I mean, not top tier, but I ran, I actually just sold a 6100 with a R7 370. It did pretty well in gaming, except for Watch Dogs. That was cool of you. Yeah, so this really stinks because Comcast only offers 10 megabit per second upload. My download's fantastic. My download's roughly 200, but I can't really stream Ultra HD or even regular HD because I run into bitrate issues. I think I should probably just sit here and collect mana for a minute because it sounds like there's something big coming up. Dish out a lot of healing here in a second. Okay, I'll do this real quick. That's actually not really too big of a deal as long as you have decent ping and good reception. It's fine. I've hotspotted a couple times playing WoW. Okay. Time to burn mana. What the heck was that fear? That was retarded. Oh my god, that's retarded. Okay. Maybe I won't be able to get on a bunch, but it is what it is. ping's not that bad. Yeah, because I have an unlimited data plan on Verizon, even though they have that 10 gig top or cap. I used like 35 gigs on my hotspot last month. No issues. That's annoying. See if anything. Feet. Nah, I don't like those stats, so. I guess if they want to give it away, they'll say something. Was that the last boss of this? Probably not. Probably have one more to go. How's the enterprise in the US? So I pay roughly 150 US, and that gives me a pretty high cable package, one TV because I have Roku's throughout the whole house and streaming and stuff like that. So only one TV with DVR and 200 over 10. So. I don't know what the conversion rate for your country is. It's internet here is actually not that great compared to some other countries. I feel like we get raked over the head, especially on like cell phone. And I work in the cell phone industry too. To be honest, I'd probably not come to our country for a little bit. I see a lot of, and I won't get too political, I fall slightly left, but I still have a lot of capitalistic beliefs. However, we don't live in a capitalistic society, but we live in a corrupted capitalist society, also known as crony capitalism. But with everything that's going on, I probably would stay in a country that's relatively neutral with everything. Probably not a bad idea, just a lot of changes going on, and the issue we're running into is jobs are becoming more difficult to come by. I live in a pretty good job market, but as automation and there's a lot of graduates out there looking, there's a lot of competition. There's not a lot of money to be made. You know, I'm in sales, I'm lucky, but you know, even with a graduate degree, master's, it's still hard to find another job that will keep my standard of living up, per se. That is true. It will be harder to get in from another country with a party and a president that's been very hard on immigration. I'm very much involved with politics. I keep an eye on things. I listen to what everybody has to say, and then I form an opinion. I love talking to people and learning things. And I like people that proof. I don't like people that just spout, you know, hard nonsense one direction or from one party and have no substance to bring it up. Is that 100 your dollars or 100 US? Because that's 100 US, that's not bad at all. I mean, granted, and it's, I don't know what wages like are there though, so you'd have to tell me conversion rate. I'm getting a master's in IT. I'm about a year and a half into it. I still have a year and a half left, so. I haven't had this much interaction with my people in a long time. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm in a graduate program, so I'm 26. So my undergrad's been done for quite a while. So, $100 US. If you don't mind me asking, what's like the minimum wage there, or like an average like starting wage with a degree there in US dollars, if you would not so mind. So I actually do not know your economy at all. 26 and I'm going back to college. Well, I'm back in college rather. And I presume that is monthly there? I'll put it in the chat pod. Ooh. That's... Australians think they have it bad, where their minimum wage is, I'll tell you in a second. So, to give you an idea, the minimum wage in Australia is roughly, if you're over 21, I believe, is about $28.80 a month. It's $18 an hour. Okay. Now, they pay less than what you pay for a GTX 1080 Ti. They pay probably about $100, $150 less. But our minimum wage is $750 here, which is approximately, say, ballpark of like 1,000 or... I could give you the exact amount here in a second. About 1,100. So their minimum wage is more than double ours, but they pay about a 30 to 50% premium on computer parts. And they complain how everything's so expensive there. And I want to just smack them upside the head because... yes, you guys pay 30 to 50% premium, but your minimum wage is more than double ours. Your average wages are more than 2.5 times what we pay here. And you guys have a great post-secondary schooling system that doesn't cost us money. It doesn't cost you guys money. So I don't want to hear how expensive stuff is in Australia. I just want to smack upside the head when I hear about it. This will probably be my last raid for the evening. I'm starting to feel kind of so I'm gonna lay down for a little bit. Actually, I ended up burning a sick day because I was not feeling it this morning. That's why we have them. Oh god, I should not be in that. I don't think I should be in that. Okay, I wasn't sure what you were talking about. Oh, I had a 2600K paired with a GTX 480, followed by 7950, followed by 7970, followed by 7950 Crossfire, and then what I have after that, a GTX 680. I got the Lightning Edition, sold that, going to RX 40 WindForce, sent that back. No, I got RX 4. I got a R9 290 WindForce, sent that back so it was overheating, got a GTX 780 MSI Lightning Edition, sold that, got an RX 4 or R9 290X Sapphire Tri-X, sold that, got a GTX 970, and then I end up going SLI. After that, I end up going with the 980 Ti, and then I have a 1080. So that's been my track record in the last couple of years. Prior to that, I had GTX 260, 9800, 9600, 8800, 8600, 7900 GT, 5950, FX 5950, FX 5200. I think an FX 6200 at some point there, and the 7600 GT. Before that, though, I don't remember. So, I've had a fair bit of graphics cards. So, CPU-wise, not as many. P4, Pentium Pro 200, Pentium 3 800, Pentium 416, Pentium 424, dual core 2 or 3 something. I want to say I had a two core 2 duos. One was an E4, I don't know what the other one was. Q60 600. Now, these are my personal rigs, not something that I test just about everything out there. But and then I went to an i7 870, 920, 2600, 4790, and then the Ryzen chip is what I'm working on now. So now that's just stuff that I've personally used in my rigs. I would say I've gone to use everything from GeForce 200 on, AMD 4000 on, and then Intel Core 2 Duo and Phenom Athlon series on. I've used everything. See if I can get loot. Now, is that 5K? Is that just for you to spend freely, or is that just for paying bills, or paying for your college, rather? So that doesn't go towards your tuition. You just get that free. That's pretty cool. I think I probably need to get off. I need to lay down. Well, guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I had a lot of fun talking to you guys. I hate streaming when nobody's interacting, and now that I have a second monitor, mind you, it's the same monitor, I'm able to talk to you guys. So that's really cool. So, anything I can do to help you guys out, you have my email. Of course, it looks like, Dan, you're pretty well versed. You don't need my help. But my email is in the chat box here. Save it. You can message me. Facebook.com/PCBudgetSolutions is another way to get a hold of me. And you see I play on Urson. You see my character. My tag is... let me find it here. Whatever social tab is. Where is the social tab? Why am I drawing a blank here? Well, let me get out of here. Why am I drawing a blank on how to get to the social tab? I think you press I, but I can't find it for some reason. Nope, that wasn't it. Oh, right there. Wow, that one time you want to find something, you can't find it. Anyway, it is, yeah, thank you, Sneeb. Number 1846 is how you can add me. But you guys have a way to get a hold of me, so thank you. Sorry about that. You know, but yeah, really appreciate you guys coming on here. Stream for, oh God, 90 plus minutes. I don't know how I made it, but I'll be doing more videos here down the road. I have overclock benchmarks coming out tonight. I'll upload that now. Yeah, but I definitely appreciate you guys very much. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody who's watching us after the fact. This is Steve from PC Budget Solutions. I'll see you guys later on down the road.